California's political landscape is abuzz with speculation, anticipation, and a good dose of trepidation. Kamala Harris, the state's former senator and the first female vice president of the United States, is contemplating a return to her home turf, this time with her eyes on the governor's mansion. The mere whisper of her potential candidacy has sent ripples through the political establishment and ignited passionate responses from the electorate. Harris's potential entry into the race injects a level of uncertainty and volatility into what was shaping up to be a relatively predictable gubernatorial election. While she has yet to formally declare her intentions, the political rumor mill is working overtime, fueled by insider gossip, polling data, and Harris's own carefully calibrated public appearances. The question on everyone's mind: will she or won't she? Interestingly, the reaction to Harris's potential candidacy has been markedly different among those within the political class and the general voting public. A recent poll conducted by Politico and UC Berkeley's Citron Center revealed a surprising level of indifference among California's political insiders. When asked about their feelings towards a Harris gubernatorial bid, a significant 36% of respondents, including lawmakers, staffers, and political observers, simply chose indifferent. This lukewarm reception from the political establishment stands in stark contrast to the more polarized reactions observed among registered voters. The same poll revealed that voters are far more emotionally invested in the prospect of a Harris governorship, with responses ranging from enthusiastic support to outright opposition. This disparity in reaction underscores the complex relationship between the political elite and the electorate, highlighting the disconnect that often exists between the two. Delving deeper into the poll results, it's evident that support for Harris is largely divided along party lines, as is often the case in our increasingly polarized political climate. Among registered Democrats, enthusiasm for a Harris candidacy is palpable. A significant 33% of Democratic voters reported feeling joyful at the prospect, while a larger 41% indicated they were mostly excited. This positive sentiment suggests that Harris retains a significant level of support within her own party, especially after her historic vice presidency. However, it's worth noting that even within the Democratic camp, the excitement isn't universal. A small but not insignificant portion of Democratic voters expressed more measured emotions, with some even voicing concerns about Harris's ability to connect with voters and win a tough election. This suggests that while Harris may start with an advantage among Democrats, she can't take their support for granted and will need to actively campaign and articulate a compelling vision to consolidate her base. On the other side of the aisle, the reaction to a potential Harris candidacy has been predictably negative. The Politico UC Berkeley poll found that a majority of Republican voters expressed negative emotions, with irritated and outraged being the most common responses. This suggests that Harris will face a steep uphill battle in winning over Republican voters, should she decide to run. This negative sentiment from Republicans is likely rooted in a number of factors, including ideological differences, partisan loyalty, and a general distrust of Harris's policies and track record. Republican strategists are already sharpening their attacks, painting Harris as a career politician out of touch with the concerns of ordinary Californians. They are likely to focus on her record as a prosecutor, her perceived liberal stance on social issues, and her association with the Biden administration, which is facing its own set of challenges. Section 5. The Independent Factor. Perhaps the most intriguing and potentially decisive factor in a Harris gubernatorial bid is the reaction of independent voters. These unaffiliated voters, who often swing elections in a state as closely divided as California, have not yet coalesced around a clear favorite in the race. The Politico UC Berkeley poll found that independents are leaning negative on a Harris candidacy, with 26% expressing irritation and 21% feeling hopeless. This lukewarm reception from independents presents both a challenge and an opportunity for Harris. On the one hand, it suggests that she will need to work hard to win over these crucial voters, many of whom are turned off by partisan politics and are looking for a candidate who can bridge divides and offer practical solutions. On the other hand, the lack of a clear front-runner among independents means that Harris has an opportunity to define herself and her vision for California in a way that resonates with these voters. Beyond the partisan divide, a Harris candidacy also raises questions about how different demographic groups within California will respond. The Politico UC Berkeley poll revealed a complex tapestry of opinions, with some groups expressing more enthusiasm than others. Black voters, for instance, emerged as the most enthusiastic demographic for Harris, with 35% reporting feeling joyful and 38% mostly excited. This strong support is likely rooted in a sense of pride and representation, as Harris would be the first black governor in California's history. However, other minority groups, such as Asian American and Latino voters, showed more mixed reactions. While a significant portion of these voters expressed support for Harris, others voiced concerns about her record on criminal justice reform and her perceived lack of attention to issues important to their communities. This suggests that Harris will need to do more than rely on her identity as a woman of color to win over these crucial voting blocs. She will need to engage with their concerns, address their specific needs, and demonstrate a genuine commitment to representing their interests. Despite the challenges and uncertainties surrounding a potential gubernatorial run, Kamala Harris enters the race with a formidable set of advantages. Her name recognition is unparalleled, thanks to her high-profile roles as a senator, vice president, and presidential candidate. This instant name recognition gives her a significant head start in terms of media attention, voter familiarity, and fundraising potential. Beyond name recognition, Harris is also a prolific fundraiser with a vast network of donors cultivated over her many years in public service. Her ability to attract large sums of money from both individual donors and political action committees gives her a significant financial advantage over her potential rivals. This financial war chest will allow her to run a well-funded campaign, airwaves with her message, and build a robust ground game to turn out voters. However, despite her strengths, Kamala Harris is not without her vulnerabilities. The Politico UC Berkeley poll's finding that a significant portion of California's political insiders are indifferent to her potential candidacy suggests that she may not have the deep well of support within the political establishment that is often crucial for winning statewide office. This lack of enthusiasm from insiders could translate into difficulties in securing key endorsements, mobilizing volunteers, and navigating the complex web of relationships that often determine the outcome of close elections. Furthermore, Harris's record as a prosecutor, while appealing to some voters, is also a source of concern for others, particularly those on the left who are critical of her handling of criminal justice issues. Her opponents are likely to seize on these concerns, painting her as out of touch with the progressive values of many California voters. Harris will need to address these concerns head-on, articulate a clear and compelling vision for criminal justice reform, and convince skeptical voters that she is committed to creating a more just and equitable system. Kamala Harris's decision on whether or not to run for governor of California has the potential to upend the race and reshape the political landscape, both within the state and nationally. Her entry into the race would instantly make her the front runner, potentially clearing the field of other Democratic hopefuls who may be hesitant to challenge a political heavyweight like Harris. If Harris chooses not to run, it opens the door for a more unpredictable and potentially chaotic race, with a crowded field of Democrats vying for the nomination. This could create opportunities for lesser-known candidates to emerge from the pack, potentially shifting the dynamics of the race and the direction of California politics for years to come.